Hey, what's going on, champs? I'm Aaron Deliosa. Welcome to an Immigrant's Life podcast, my podcast about immigrants and immigration and everything in between. Thank you for listening and downloading the show, and thank you for supporting my dad.
Welcome back, Immigrant Nation. Another week, another new episode. Thank you for being here wherever and whenever you are listening to this podcast. Your presence is much appreciated. You already know, but it's worth repeating. An Immigrant's Life is available on every podcasting platform, including YouTube. So subscribe now to make sure you never miss an episode. And please remember to give us that 5-star rating as well. Lastly, you can find more An Immigrant's Life content by checking our social media accounts, which is at An Immigrant's Life. There you can find some reels, posting. Sometimes I put some helpful tips and whatnot. Just cool stuff overall. So check it out. And if you want to send an email, our email is at animmigrantlife@yahoo.com. That's the biz. Now, let's talk about the episode. The guest on this episode is such a fantastic motivator and mental coach that he'll inspire you to get up off of your feet and break that bad cycle that you are in. But if you are already in a positive space, this episode will also give you an extra motivation. So, get ready to have your full potential unlocked while I get to the point. Without further ado, let's get into the show. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Today's guest is a pro basketball player, a coach, and a CEO. He'll break your ankle with a crossover and then coach you back to health because he's a mental skill assistant. Everyone, please welcome Daniel Mullings.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
Man, thank you for agreeing to come on as a guest, man. I really do appreciate, man.
Of course, and I really appreciate you just for reaching out and wanting me to be a part of your platform and everything that you got going on, man. It's amazing what you're doing, and I'm just super thankful and appreciative.
Thank you, appreciate it, man. Like I said when we were talking, I was like, I don't know if he's gonna say yes, but I'm gonna message him anyway.
Yeah.
So I get into this spot of like I'm gonna ask, I'm hesitant to ask people, but then I'll tell myself like, what are they gonna say? Yes or no? You're not gonna die.
Exactly. I think I got to that form of thinking at a certain point as well. Sometimes when we psych ourselves out about certain things, whether it's events that's coming up or, like I can attribute that to like a basketball game. And then we're just so much into our own heads that we're thinking so much. And then you got to take a step back and it's like, yo, what can happen? It's either we're going to win this game with all the work we put in or we may lose, because in each game there's a winner and a loser, and obviously we're aiming to win, but that's what it is. You put your best work forward and you do your part, and the rest will take care of itself.
Exactly. Trust the process.
Yes, trust the process, man. That's a real thing.
Yeah, that's what I tell when I used to coach kids, and when I talk to my kids. I have 2 kids, and I say, hey dude, put in the work, and most of the time good things will happen. The result doesn't really matter.
Right.
Of course, you want to win, like you said, right? But if you put in the work, you're good.
Yes, man. It's like putting in the work and also being genuine about it. You know what I mean? Like genuinely wanting to, whatever you want to attain is being genuine about it, not just doing it solely for, a specific reason or of just maintaining or achieving something that's going to make you look cool for other people, right? It's you genuinely wanting to get better, to be better, and to really achieve greatness, and whatever that greatness looks like for you.
Amen. 100%. Anyways, Mullings, where's that name from?
So that's actually my dad's last name. I actually have 2 last names, so it's Walden Mullings, but I just go by Mullings. Mullings is like the name that made me. Like, it is what I was I'm known by. If you just like people, a lot of people, especially growing up like from high school, because that was a name, my last name. People just started calling me that. Like in high school, one person called me that, and then the whole school that just followed, and everybody was just Mullings, this and that, and that was kind of like that's my identity, man. And yeah, and then it's funny because it started off as the full thing as Mullings, and then as it seems to be like in high school it was Mullings, then we get to college, and then it starts getting shorter. Then it goes D Malls, then where's Malls, then it's then it's Mully, then it's so now we've gotten to a point where it's just Mully now. Like it's just permanently, yeah. So that is it's that's what it is now, and it's trippy because I have a younger brother who's also Mullings, and so it trips me out now because I was the one that everyone is calling Mullings.
You're the original.
I'm the original, and now so like when we're hanging around and people go, "Yo, Mully," and then we both look. And I'm like, oh shit! Like this is tripping me out, bro. Like I'm the original, man. Like
you're not the cool one anymore. He's the cool one now.
I'm not the top dog no more, man.
You're
like
too old now.
Now he got it.
That's funny, man. You said you have two last names. I know you were raised by an amazing single mom. Yes, Walden is your mom's last name?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How is growing up with a single mom, and how many siblings do you have?
So I have in total I have 3.
Okay.
But I grew up with 2. My younger brother Jermaine, and then my youngest brother TJ. And then after I have a little sister as well on my dad's side, Kaya. So there's I got 3 younger siblings. I'm the oldest, and but within the household with my mom, having a single mom, just complete soldier, warrior, man. So it's, we're raising us off survival, right? Surviving is all she knows, because when she got here, maybe around teenager.
Where's she from?
Jamaica. So it's like when she got here, it's like being an immigrant from somewhere else. It's like coming here, you have to figure that shit out, right? You're like you have to survive. It's like it's survival mode, right? You got to figure this shit out. Yep. So like her, it's just figuring this shit out, and then for me, being able to learn a lot of lessons and pick up on a lot of things, just being around her, being the oldest. So a lot of my survival skills and skills that I have, like as a man, as far as knowing how to clean, knowing how to cook. Like that's a big thing. Like early, I used to be in the kitchen while she was cooking and stuff, and then she used to just make me do shit. Like after a while, she just made me do shit. Okay, this is how you wash the rice and how you make rice. Boom. I'm observing at the same time, and then with the chicken, she started when she was frying chicken, and then after it got into, I'm on my way home from work, take the chicken out, and then, season the chicken and fry it up, put it in the flour with the egg, put the flour, put it in, and then I started picking up on shit, right? And then of course, her being a single mother, so having to work on top of raising us, it's a lot of work. So, excuse me, when I got to, a certain age, pretty young though, I would say, then I became also one of the, a big key in the house, just a provider, just, just helping her, taking care of my brothers, man. And being able to just make food while she's at work, you know what I mean? So she doesn't have to worry about that, take care of the house, whether it's washing the dishes and cleaning, things of that nature. And it really helped to prepare me just as a man, and just to be able to have those skills as well. Because, it's funny, obviously, traveling because of basketball, getting a scholarship, and then going to school, in the States, and fast forward to being a professional and being by yourself and having to when you're by yourself, obviously the easy option is to go ahead and buy food, but you're wasting a lot of money, right?
Mm.
On takeout and shit like that, and that's not the healthier alternative.
Mm-hmm.
So having those skills learned from her, being able to apply that directly and navigate my life was something that's amazing, man. And I applaud her and all these single mothers and single parents in general,
Yeah,
because
man.
this shit is really, it's difficult, man. It's hard, and especially for her raising three boys. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
she's very, like, anybody that knows my mom, she's like very, she's tough, man. It's tough love. Um, she's tough because of that survival mode and having to, obviously, understanding having to raise boys into men. That you know, of course, like she helped mold us and mold me into the person that I am today, man. And
Mm.
I'm super appreciative and thankful that she was the one that was raising her, and I'm happy to have her as a mother as well, right?
Mm-hmm. MVP.
You know what I mean? That's the real MVP, just like throughout life, man. Just within life, and also basketball, just being supportive of. I'm the oldest, so when I was getting into basketball, she didn't really know much about basketball,
Mm.
right? But her willingness to learn, to be able to go along and to support my love for the game, and then my brothers trailing after me, man, is something that that is, it's just priceless, man. It's something that just shows her dedication,
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of people's parents, didn't really come out to watch them play, maybe didn't believe in them or didn't have the time.
Mm.
But she's always been a believer, and this is what she want to do. I'm going to support it, and we'll get it by any means.
That's beautiful, man. The sacrifice that your mom did, man. I mean, for to be a single mom and to have time to watch your games, that's props, you know.
Yeah, man, it's something that I admire, man. And now, being a parent myself, and with my daughter,
Mm.
and understanding that, when you bring life onto this earth, that um, that was part of our choice. Like, they didn't ask to get here. So
Mm.
as part of our duties is we have to be able to take care of responsibilities and make sacrifices, understanding that this shit is not only about ourselves anymore,
Mm.
right? Like, you brought life here, so take care of your duties and whatever sacrifices. So it's like a thing where if I know I got to see my daughter, in the morning, tomorrow, or afternoon,
Mm.
if I know I'm gonna go out, and I say, Zara, I'm gonna come get you at 11 or 10, whatever the time is, whatever I choose to do that night prior, I better get my ass up and go make sure I follow through my duty, right?
Yeah,
That
man.
shit is on me. I wanted to drink, or I wanted to party and do whatever and stay up all night. So now, I need to take that responsibility and look myself in the mirror as a man and say, whatever, regardless, I don't care how you got to get up, but make sure you're there, right?
100%, man. Plus, you know, if you ever one time you partied and you didn't show up, she'll be waiting.
Of course, man.
And man, that's just one trauma already that's hard to fix.
Of course, man. They don't forget.
No.
They really don't forget. And it's like, yeah, Daddy, remember when you said this? And so, uh,
They're the best teachers.
of course.
The best teachers. I've learned so much from my kids more than I learned from any book or any person.
Okay, how many? How many do
I
you
got
got?
two that I know
Okay,
of.
that you know of. That we know of.
Yeah, you know. I got two boys. I only make boys.
Okay,
You know.
nice, nice.
Yeah, they like I said, like they're getting into basketball now, and I never pushed them to like the game. I love the game. That's it's one of my favorite game,
Yeah,
but I never pushed them. But I see that they're liking it. Hey,
right,
go ahead. I'll never push them to do something that they don't want to do. How about
right.
you? How you approaching Zara with that?
That's how I feel too. Like, I know initially, you know what I mean? Like when you're having a little one, you're like, yeah, if you play the sport or whatever you do, it's like, yeah, I want her to go down. And but I feel like I kind of looked at it from a different perspective. And although I'd love it if she, wanted to pursue basketball,
Mhm.
that's not the only thing for me, man. It's not like a make it or break it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to
Mm.
force anything. I'll make jokes with her and be like, come watch this basketball game with me, man. You're at that age now. Come watch this basketball game. And it's like, no, daddy, I told you I don't want to. But it's funny. She'll say like around me she doesn't want to, but then after like she'll like her mom will tell me like she watched like the NCAA
Mm.
women's finals
I love
and
it.
so stuff like that. So it's like for her, man, everything is open for you. Do
Mm.
what you like, do what you enjoy. I truly don't care what it is,
Mm.
and I once I see that you enjoy that and that's what you're leaning towards, and you have my full support in whatever you do. I'm not judging you for whatever you want to play. I'm not going to be upset because you don't want to play basketball. That's okay. That means that was my that's part of my legacy and that was my path,
Mm.
and you may not have the same path as far as that. So
Mhm.
and that's perfectly fine with me. Everybody has their own like niche, and
Mm.
once you find that, then I'm here to support you like
100.
wholeheartedly.
100. What do you love about being a dad?
um I love like just knowing that she's just perfect. Like she's just, it's like I can um whenever I'm like having a shit day or a lot is going on,
Mm.
whether it's just like just everyday life or it's like basketball wise, and I just feel like a lot of shit is going on. We just lost a game, played like shit, something like that. I will call her. You know what I mean? I just sometimes I'll just find myself saying, "Man, let me talk to my kid, man. I just want to talk to my daughter, man." And then like she's not a phone girl, so if I had to call her or whatever for that little second of
Mm.
me just talking to her, she seems to know whenever I need to talk to her because that's the day that she'll be, "Oh, what's up, daddy?" Blah blah blah. Start talking, having a deeper conversation, and that's like the things that I can appreciate. That like it's just she's so innocent. She's just so beautiful and special that that whenever I'm feeling down, I feel like she just brings my spirit, like her energy. Um, just being around her and her energy is just, helps me. And she's just amazing. Just seeing her growth and, just seeing her growth and her mature and develop is amazing, man. There's nothing like it, seeing your child just happy, smiling, and just enjoying life. You know what I mean? That's
Mm.
just that's I truly love that part of it, and just being a father, man. And you know what I mean? Just
It's the best.
being available and being there, whatever I can do, like that is what really matters. And spending time. I enjoy like spending time and seeing my daughter. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, dude.
just spending time with her, like no matter what. If it's like if like finish work and I only have literally 30 minutes to see her or something, I'll
Mhm.
make my way down from wherever to see her for that 30. You know what I mean? Like that time with her is very valuable to me.
Yeah, they're like a pool of happiness, you know?
Yeah.
You're down, you good, you see them, you smile like, "Hey, dad, what's up?" And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
"Hey,
Yeah.
what's up, bro?"
What's up? Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it. You're
man.
like, "Oh, I'm good." Like
Yeah,
whatever I
I'm
was
good.
thinking earlier, that's stupid. Actually, I'm good. This is what right now what matters, right? Though, right, this little girl here, or for me, like the boys,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
You
man.
mentioned earlier that you played basketball in the States. New Mexico State, go Aggies.
Yes. Yes, sir.
How did you end up in New Mexico?
Whoa, funny, like crazy story. So Um, I um and so at first I didn't really qualify like to go to university right away from high school.
Hmm.
Um
Grades?
Yeah, man. Stay in school, kids. Kids, focus in, man. Focus in, man. Like focus in. All right, but so happened to now. My alternatives was to go JUCO, so junior college,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually had two that I was gonna go to. One in Texas, that was like the top one, and then one in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
Tallahassee. And then I was damn near like gonna go to Tallahassee. Like I spoke to the coach and was like, "Yeah, man, like I'm gonna come. This is where I'm gonna come, and I look forward to being there and et cetera, et cetera. Because JUCO, you go 2 years, and then you in the span of that 2 years, you're hoping to get picked up by a Division 1 school. So ultimately, I was like, I didn't qualify initially, but I'm betting on myself and my abilities that when I get into the situation that I'm gonna get something good.
Mm.
And I was fine with that. But then we had an All-Star Game 2010 All Canada Classic that was held at the Air Canada Center.
Mm.
So that I had a good game, good showing. And a coach from New Mexico State, he's actually Canadian. He was the associate head coach at the time, Paul
Mm-hmm.
Weir. He was there, and then he got in contact with me and showed interest that he wanted me to come there. But the kicker with that was because I didn't qualify, I would have to redshirt for a year. So
Mm.
sit out. I wouldn't be eligible to play, but I would be going to school, to qualify there, get my grades up, and then have 4 years of eligibility of
Oh,
at that
okay.
school. Right. So, I mean, if you look at it, it's not a bad It's not a bad gig
Yeah.
if you're looking at it long term, right? Attaining a degree and then being able to play for 4 years, like you know what I'm saying? And it looks, but
Mm.
as a competitor and a teenager, that you're
Mm.
so used to playing, um, constantly that
Mm.
you can't fathom not playing or
Mm.
competing, right? So I'm looking at it like, hell no, I'm not going over there to sit down for a whole year and not play.
Mm.
Like, I want to play. Like, so that was the JUCOs in my mind. So I kind of was hesitant with him. But going back to my mother, um, that she's so heavily involved in things. It's like he spoke to her, and once she found out, like, oh, 4 years of eligibility, we can get your degree and da. Yeah, he's going. I just told him, yeah, he's. Don't worry about him. Like, he's going. I don't know what he told you. I don't know what he told you, but he's going. And then so ultimately, her word stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, it's not like there's a choice.
right. I had no choice when she got involved, and I was pissed when I heard he spoke to her because I was like, damn.
Mm.
I think that was a thing where it was like, yeah, get to his mom. If you get to his mother, like you got him, type shit. So he got the memo, got the message, and um, yeah, ended up fast forward. Ended up over in New Mexico State. Ended up being an amazing choice. I gotta big her up, her and Paul Weir on that one,
Mm.
the tandem on that one. I gotta big them up, man. Like carved out that was the right decision, and it carved
Mm.
out a nice little path for myself over there.
Mm-hmm.
So New Mexico State in Las Cruces, got there, redshirted, went through the battles of that redshirt year, and had my 4 years of eligibility, and it turned out pretty good, man. Especially
Mm.
starting out from a freshman, started slow, but then once I got my opportunity, I was ready for the moment. Opportunity, I took advantage of the opportunity and was able to make myself a name and became a household name
Mm-hmm.
within the Aggie organization, and I'm forever enshrined in that history,
Mm-hmm.
and with that school, and I still represent it to this day, man. I love this New Mexico State and the Aggies in Las Cruces. Las Cruces is my second home. I got family there still. um yeah, man, forever embedded. I gotta actually have like a Las Cruces tattoo, like the emblem
That's beautiful.
there of the three crosses with the, yeah, man, as an ode to it. I want to add to it still. And but yeah, I love that place, and I'm forever thankful
Amazing.
and grateful for the opportunity that I got there from Paul Weir and as well as Marvin Menzies and everybody over there, man.
I mean, 2014 Western Athletic Conference Basketball Player of the Year. I mean,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
how did that feel, man?
um, that shit felt amazing. I can't lie. Like, I think I can appreciate it more now. It's so crazy, man. Like, I have these conversations with people all the time. Like, my peers and guys I went to school with, and people that also, pros and shit like that. Is because we're so in the moment, man. We don't fucking understand exactly what we did. Like we don't look at it from a certain perspective of like what the fuck we did. Like a kid coming from Scarborough, didn't qualify. Do you know what I mean? Always just put in work. Um, got on my grind, stuck to it. Always believed in myself, confident in myself. Went through the ups and downs. Proved myself right, man. You know what I mean. I knew I can be um, a player of the year, and I knew what I was capable of, and I always, bet on myself against everybody else, man. So when that shit happened, it was just like man. I accepted it, and I was super thankful, man. You know what I mean, and appreciative, just because so much work went into um, getting that. You know what I mean, and I feel like not that's not an award. Like I'm not a person that only just represents myself. I feel like I'm a representative of like the people, my people that are um that are close to me, and people who are alike, like myself, come from the same kind of story, but maybe didn't make it to Division 1, maybe didn't play much, or my family, my brothers that played basketball but stopped at a certain point and still rooting for me, represented me when I was over there. And like my Jermaine, the middle brother, he's like that guy is probably like one of my biggest like supporters. Like he doesn't even know this, you know what I mean? But like he doesn't even know that I see him and I appreciate him, and I know like if you can't talk bad about me nowhere where he's around, like whether I'm in the country or not, like you can't say nothing about me. He'd be like, "What? We talk like my brother? What? Are you crazy?" Like you know what I mean? Like he'll ride for like that's one guy that'll come to me, but bro, why don't you like do this? Why don't I see you do this here? Why don't you do this? Like not everybody know you could do this, and you know what I'm saying? Like I do it for shit like that, man. Like that award is for like him type shit. You know what I mean? Like it's representative of like my family and my people around me that support me and that couldn't uh necessarily do it themselves. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that shit means a lot.
I love that, man. You represent your people. I love it because I agree with you. The things that we do, we don't really do it for ourselves. We do it for
Right,
the people that we represent. Like
right,
I love that you said that, for the people that didn't make it, that's for them
right,
too, It's
right.
not really for you necessarily, but it's really for them.
Right, man. Like of course we love this shit, man. Like I love this shit. Like, I love this game. I fell in love with this game, like, at a very young age, around like 7, you know what I'm saying? And I put in the work. But at the end of the day, I'm one of those guys as well that I enjoy shit better when I have like my family and my real people circle around me to celebrate shit with me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
I'm really a Scarborough guy, man. I really represent the Scarborough shit, man. So
Mm.
um like yeah, I really embody that. Like if I can I'd rather like if I could win an award and bring my people with me. Like if I get invited to a party or somewhere and it's like, you just got to come by yourself. I'd rather not go if I can't bring like my brothers with me, my close homies. Like
Mm.
I'm not interested because I don't care to party with like you guys and the rest of, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to celebrate this shit with the people around me that this shit really represents and is like means a lot to.
100%, man. I want to ask you, and since it's been a topic for a few years now, Should the NCAA pay the athletes?
I mean, shit, they're getting paid now.
Mm.
They're getting paid now with all the NIL deals. But yes, I feel like it. I was just a little bit before the time, man. I was just too early. I was just a little bit too old, my boy. I was a little bit too old, my boy. Like, nah, but I love this shit for the fact that they're like now they actually we knew how valuable we were to these schools.
Mm.
Because ultimately we're the players. We're the ones that's bringing it. They're coming to watch the players essentially.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They're like when we do signing autographs after the game and shit like that, it's to engage the fans. It's to allow the fans to know that we are human as well as what we're very skilled in this game. We're talented in this game of basketball, but we're we're real people where that you can touch, that you can take pictures with, that you can interact with, like the younger generation that's looking up to us, that would love to get a picture and talk to you, and we could give them words of encouragement. Like, that's the shit we do it for. They come to see us, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
like I've always been. I mean, I was kind of fortunate in a way. I was able to. So I had a whole. They made a whole like Air Canada type of image for me or identity.
Mm.
When I was in New Mexico State, that was my nickname, is
Mm.
Air Canada. I mean, I feel like anybody that was Canadian back in the days that can jump was they called us Air Canada. Like I'm pretty sure like a lot of homies that can jump and shit in different back then were called Air Canada. But like for me, that was my thing. And um and then it was like they made signs. They made signs for me. I had a couple dudes over there that I had t-shirts.
Mm.
I had t-shirts that we ended up selling. We sold some merch and we seen that opportunity and we just went with it, man. I rode that wave with the whole Air Canada, like, merch and stuff like that. I wish, didn't really know much about it as far as the business side of it, because now looking back at it, we could have made something good happen. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because I think that started probably on my sophomore year. So if we could have probably, made some sort of deal with like the merchants and people that are the manufacturers and stuff like that, then we could have figured some stuff out and um, sorted the business side of it a lot better,
Mm.
right? But I love it for the fact that these guys are understanding and knowing their worth
Their
and
value, yeah.
their value, and they're getting rewarded for that, because that scholarship money really doesn't do much, right? Like, it really does that, especially if you live off campus. You get a little bread, you got to pay your rent, you got to pay a little phone bill. You know what I mean? And then
And you can never like you're not allowed to receive a gift, right?
yes, back then you were not even allowed to receive any gifts. Like, they can't give you, like, nobody could have came up to you and given you money or given
A
you a
sandwich.
car or even a sandwich. Like, they
That's
had to like
crazy.
they had to like literally go through the school and a whole bunch of shit and
Oh man.
6-man clubs and this and that, or like raising funds and shit. It's honestly, man, it's crazy. Like, you couldn't even even if you had anything with jerseys, I don't even think we couldn't get nothing. Like, it was crazy. So
It's like modern slavery.
it was modern day slavery,
It's
man.
insane, man.
The
I'm
shit,
glad that they're getting paid now, but I think they shouldn't get paid more.
yeah, man. Like, this shit, like, it's modern day slavery, man. And like, I'm glad, because now you're seeing kids as well, like
Hmm.
in university. They're in no rush to go to, especially like I can just like relating it to Angela Reese,
Mm.
from LSU. She like, they won, and she played solid, right? And usually you have a good tournament run, you want to go declare for to play the
To
pros.
draft, yeah.
But she's not in no rush because of the NIL deals that she's receiving and the gifts and everything and that she deserves, right? So it's like you don't have to rush there because now you could get paid, or you'll get certain things, and you'll be comfy. You'll be able to have money in your pocket, take care of your parents, like you know what I mean, take care of family, take care of yourself. So there's no rush to go to the pros and to have to deal with the rigors of being a professional, right? Because some of them are not ready for that. So
Yes.
nah, man, it's good to see that shit, man.
Yeah. Talking about drafting, you won 2014, 2015 first team All American, but unfortunately you didn't get drafted to the NBA. How did you deal with that mentally?
I think it's dealing with the reality of it. Like once you get to I feel like once you get to a certain age, because like, you know, like the NBA and stuff like that is all the younger the better that you come in, right? To be able to mold, and so it's like once you're getting older, and you're kind of not seeing yourself on the draft boards type. Like obviously you believe yourself, and that's the ultimate goal. But now once getting older and understanding that, yo, becoming a professional is not only the NBA. Like you can go over to Europe and make a good living. You know what I mean? Like live well and enjoy it as well. So once I kind of changed that perspective and looked into it in that way of the reality of the situation and becoming like at peace with that, understanding that like this is more than likely what's going to be your path right here. I feel like, you know, that acceptance allows you to drop the ego and the pride and everything, and then to really do some research and understand, like, yo, it's nice over here. If you make it, like, life is what you make it, right? And also
100.
playing overseas is what you make it as well. Your experience is what you make it. You can be the person that goes, oh man, I'm in a foreign country, like, fuck man, they don't have my regular food that I eat, the regular drinks that I drink. What is this? What is that? And you stay inside. You don't go outside to the language barrier. You're not open-minded, and it could be terrible for you. It could be a terrible experience. But I feel like I'm more of like an open-minded person. So understanding that, and I had some. I played in, like, you know, a couple tournaments here and there. I've been in like at that point in my life before I became a pro. I played in China for a little bit, just for like a stretch of the university games that we did for like a team for Team Canada. We did like a little tour where we played in China, and then we ultimately played in Russia. So I played in Europe a little bit, seen the lifestyle. I also played a tournament in Italy, so kind of understood what's over there, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna go overseas. Go to Europe, that's all right. I'm good. I am good. So I feel like I wasn't crushed too much, and I took it for what it was, and I was ready to accept it. And I think that's what the key is for people.
Open-mindedness, beautiful. I like it. I hate this joke now online that if a player get into the NBA and somehow, you know, he fell through, meaning like not playing well, whatever, they always joke like, "Oh, go straight to China." Like,
go to China.
Hey, right. Listen, that boy is getting paid. Are you getting paid? Like, how he's getting paid? You know what I mean?
For real. And it's like part of this, man. It's just part of this generation shit, man. Like just like with the social media being so prevalent and having just so much avenues for people to say stuff. Like on these comments and shit like that. Like sometimes they're just talking to talk, not understanding that like everybody has emotions and are human beings at the end of the day. So it's like, and it's like, yo, you're behind a computer, man. What are you doing? Like you're like you just said, like you're here talking about somebody going to China, which he's still gonna probably get paid $1 million at least. What are you doing on the other side? You know what I'm saying? Typing and making this shit up, like, and making a joke out of it. Like obviously, you know what I mean? Like it's cool to make jokes and shit is funny, but it's like when you guys are just automatically resorting to that, and you have no experience of being a professional, and how hard it is to actually be a professional. And he's in the NBA. Like, what are you? Probably love basketball or super fan, and wish you could play basketball and you can't. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's the banter is funny and shit too. You know what I mean? It's cool, but it's just funny how they just run right to that, like, immediately.
100%. Because it's insecurity, right?
Yes.
Like you said, that I want to do that, but unfortunately, I'm not. I cannot be Air Canada. I can't dunk like you or shoot like you. So how am I gonna do? How am I gonna do that? I'm gonna hurt you through my words.
Right.
You know what I mean? But how do you deal with criticism, though, personally?
Criticism.
Yeah.
I feel like I invite it. I feel like I invite it, and I want to know if there's something I can get better at. Like, I want to know if
I love that.
yeah, like, I think I'm a person, I'm always looking, like, if I do something, it's like what do you think I could have done better? Like, that was like, how'd I do? You know what I mean? Like, and even when people say, no, it was good, but could I done this better? Or, like, I like to inquire and to just challenge myself, man, because I feel like, criticism, as long as it's constructive and it's in the right place, you can't go wrong, man. Like, you gotta be able to learn from certain things and be able to be open to add things to your palette. Because nobody is perfect, and every day, is about leveling up and seeing what you can do to add and to contribute to your greatness. So I feel like I invite it, and I'm like, I want to hear what I can do well. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, if I do something well and they're like, no, man, you really did that, amazing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna really take that in and say, all right, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, and once I ask if there's anything I can do, if there's not, then that's cool too, right? That's cool too. Then maybe I'll just do it on myself, self-critiquing, and then try to figure how I can make something even better.
Definitely. Which country did you play for where you found it difficult to adjust culturally?
The hardest, I would say China, for the fact that, say, so if you don't play in, like a Beijing or like Hong Kong, like one of the bigger cities, because a lot of cities are still big over there, like, compared to here. You know what I mean? Even if they're smaller cities over there, it's just, you're really, everything is really, like, slim as far as, like, the food choices, like certain things that you're used to. Like, the more and more you get to the smaller cities, is the less and less you're gonna see a brand that you recognize, right? So you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna navigate through that. Like, how are you going to? What is your diet gonna look like? Now that you don't have everything at your fingertips, that you know, to deal with it. Even the time difference, man, over there. You know what I mean? The time difference is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? While I'm up, everybody's sleeping, like dead sleep. You know what I mean? Like, and just being able, and then when I was there, not being able to have a car because it's so crazy. The traffic in China is crazy. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, that shit is wild. So, having to navigate and to get used to catching cabs to go to practice, catching cabs home, um, catching cabs to go to the game, having a translator as well.
Yeah.
I had a translator. Yeah, that was pretty dope. And my man Eric, that was pretty dope, man. Like, to have that. So I would say that, just because it's so much of a drastic change. And I I was over there for a couple months after my first year pro. So I played in Germany that year. And then my first year in Germany, you had to just get used to everything. But it's like, people more speak English than, you know what I mean? Like, than in certain parts of China. Like, a lot of people didn't speak English, especially in the smaller cities. Had our, you know what I mean? Like, teammates barely did. We had teammates that didn't speak English.
How do you communicate?
Our coach, bro, we had a translator for him. He spoke very little English, and we had a translator. So he'd be talking, and the translator's like, yeah, so D, he wants you to do this and this and this, and you got to do better on this and this. And then we tell him something and then go back to it. Like,
Oh, man.
So that was probably the most interesting one, but I loved every minute of it. It wasn't like I was dwelling in it. I loved every minute of it. It was just you couldn't move how you wanted to move.
Yeah, I see that. For the interpreter and, having but challenges communicating with your coach and your fellow your teammates, how did it improve you as a player or as a person?
As far as a person, it's like I feel like it just made me understand that, like, yo, man, like you have to be able to have patience with people. For communication, you have to learn how to communicate with people who don't speak English that well, right? And learning that the ones that do, or even know a couple words or try, like, that's big time. Because we don't know, well, I don't really know, I'm not fluent in another language, right? Like, obviously, like, French is the second language here, which I wish I would have paid attention more growing up. Like, it's kicking myself now, like, playing pro and stuff. But how hard it is to pick up on another language. So you have an appreciation for them, for learning and how they learn and trying. And once you open your mind more, and I'm really good at, like, figuring out what they're trying to say, even if they don't say it correctly. So and I'm pretty good at not making people feel stupid or feel weird. You know what I mean? That they may not be as good in or confident in their English. You know what I mean? Like, whenever they say that, it's like, I'm like, it's all good, man. Be yourself. Like, you can make mistakes. I'm gonna try to figure out what you're saying anyways. You know what I mean? To help you. Yeah, you're trying. So I'm gonna help. I'm gonna try to help to make it easier for you. So you're not sitting here on a word and it's close to something I might know, and I'm being a dickhead and acting like I don't know what you're trying to say. Like, I hate when people do that.
Me
too.
What I
mean? Like,
I hate it.
I hate when people do that. Like, you're trying to say something or you mean something and you say the wrong word in a wrong context, but you know what the hell they're trying to say. So just say, oh, do you mean whatever? Like, try to help, man.
Get it close and I'll figure it out. You know?
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
100%. We talked about yesterday offline that you played in Finland and then you played in Israel as well, and how the weather is so different, and how the weather affected you personally. And because you're feeling down, maybe you have SAD, which is seasonal disorder.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Like, what do you mean by that, and how did it affect you playing?
So, yeah, my first time really, I think, learning about, like, depression and seasonal depression and stuff like that, the mental health stuff and aspect of this game and being away was definitely Finland, because, it was good. Everything was good, going with, like, regular. But then after it came to the winter time, right? First of all, I was in this place called Joensuu, right? And it's like the furthest north that you could be in Finland. It's damn near the border of Russia. It's the border of Russia, man. So it's the furthest north that you could be in Finland. So imagine the winters, and, like, already Finland is a lot of snow and shit. So now imagine the closest north, how much snow around that time. So the snow, obviously, it's not a shocker because I'm from Canada, but the height of it was crazy, and, like, some of the extremes where certain shit over here would be closed down, over there is still operating. operating. Like, yeah, snow, we got this, what, 20 centimeters, 20, 30, 25 centimeters, what? Continue on. You know what I'm saying? Regular scheduled. Um, but it got into the winter time. There's a certain point during the winter where there's only like 3 hours of sunlight.
Ooh.
So
Wait, what kind of
literally,
sunlight? Can you see like a slither or like actually like sunlight like bright?
like bright for only 3 hours. If it is, even if the sun is out. So other
Yeah.
than that, it's gray skies, right?
Ooh.
So 3 hours. So and that's like a certain point, like in the morning. Like say maybe like the six a 5, 6, 7 or 6, 7, 8 slot. So imagine if you go to sleep, right? If you wake up after that time, imagine waking up and opening your window and it's dark.
Mm.
You go to practice for the morning session, it's dark outside. You come out of practice, it's dark. You go, so literally you gotta put on all the lights. They encourage us to take the vitamin D pills, right? Have your lights on, but it's ridiculous, bro. And then imagine, so you do that, then you go to your next practice at like 3, 4 ish. It's dark. You come out, it's dark. You go to sleep, it's dark. You wake up, it's dark for like a whole couple months, bro. So, um, the good thing was that we played that year. We were in 2 leagues. So the domestic league was the league that only Finland only. We played Finnish teams only, and then the Champions League is it's an international competition where we travel to different countries. We had like 6, 7 teams in our pool.
Mm.
We were able to travel around. So that kind of bought some time, and we weren't there for the whole time when it was dark out.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can tell you is, like, yeah, I feel like there's a shift in, like, just personality and like your mental, because the no sunlight, man. The sun gives us energy. You know what I mean? It radiates our energy, it provides us with energy. So once you don't have that, especially if you're not used to it, it attacks your mental. Then you're like, yo, there's no sun, your energy is low, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you don't feel like going to practice. Now you're not energetic, excited to go to practice. You're not, you know what I mean? Now it's a drag. It's a drag. So now you get to the gym and you're just like, instead of like, all right, let's get better today, your mentality is, I can't wait till this shit is over. Let's just, you know what I mean? Like, let's just finish this. Let's just get in and get out. And I also learned there, because one of the players was like, he was dealing with a lot of that mental battles. He was leading, you know what I mean? And we didn't really know. We just knew just thought he was more like an emotional guy and stuff like that. But it really around that time, like the players would say, yeah, that he does this. Like, he wouldn't come for some games, practices, because it's affecting him. And so I learned that Finland is like top 3. Is it within the top 3 for suicide rates?
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I think Japan is up there as number 1.
I think Japan's number 1, yeah.
Japan is number 1, and Finland is either 2 or 3. So, yeah, because we had like a sit down with some like mental health advisors that came to come talk to us as well. And I guess it was like also therapists, I think, that had their open door policy type of thing. And yeah, man. So I think that was the first time that I learned about like that seasonal depression and stuff like that, and like the mental side of things, because I kind of seen it in myself, but I didn't know I was doing it. I was just doing certain things where I was going ghost from friends. I didn't really want to talk to anybody. I was like, people will call me. I'm like, man, I don't feel like talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll watch the phone ring. Nah, I'm good right now. I don't feel like talking right now, you know? Sleeping a lot more, try to pass the time. And doing things to just pass the time, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that is like the first time I've seen that, and, kind of affected me in a way as far as that part of not being just being like emotionally unavailable, just as far as to friendships and relationships and stuff like that, man. It's just I keep putting myself in a little box in a corner away from everybody, instead of more like opening up. I think that would be a time more where you open up and you tell, your friends and partner and stuff like that, like, damn, I'm going through it right now. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like even back then, it's like, for us, that wasn't a big thing to really open up in those ways and to really utilize our family, friends, partners as support to help each other through, and to be like, look, man, there's no fucking sun out here, man. Like, I'm going through it, So, but yeah, man, I that shit is learning. I took that as experience and learning, man, and something that I pride myself on being able to fight through, recognize at a certain point, fight through, and ultimately make it through that, right?
Did you go to therapy, or you going to therapy?
No, but after my second year of after being there in Finland, I had I dived into like the more onto the mental side of things, and this like performance and stuff like that, because I had an injury, a serious knee injury on my jumping knee, on my left knee. I had to get microfracture surgery,
Oh,
so I had
no.
cartilage missing.
Oof.
So I had to get a procedure that included like artificial cartilage and stem cell transfer for my knee. And I feel like during that time, my surgery just put me in such a dark place, because I'm like, damn, I'm missing a whole year of basketball. I had a great year. I'm supposed to be leveling up and moving to this way in Europe. Now I can't even make anything. Now I can't even play. I can't do anything.
Can't even walk.
I can't even walk. I was on crutches for 2 months. So it put me in a spot. But then after once, kind of check myself, like, man, what are we going to do? Just sit down and lay down and feel sorry for myself because I had so what, bro? Like, now it's time to figure this shit out. All right, what's the next steps? I'm out for this long. All right, steps, crutches for this long. And then once I start get out the crutches and I start moving and shit like that, and I can start working out, building the confidence back. And then I feel like I just got into a space where I wanted to learn more about, I was a big overthinker, and I think I had some sort of anxiety, right? But I didn't know. Like, I think the anxiety I had in turn it was like a two-edged sword. So it was, at a point, it became anxiety as far as overthinking things. But that overthinking and anxiety also, I think I used it a lot to my advantage. It was positive for me in the way that, because I was so afraid to fail and didn't want to fail, that I made it no option to fail. You know what I mean? And I made it as some shit as like, bro, we're doing this. I don't know what this other plan, if I fail and I don't do it's looking like, so I'm going to do it, whatever it takes, right? So I started, watching some documentaries that changed up my health, like my eating, my diet, stuff like that. And then I got back into, I used to be a big reader as a kid, and I got back into reading books. And my friend, she got me a book that's called Pure Performance by George Mumford. And I think he was a sports psychologist that worked with the Chicago Bulls and Jordan and Phil Jackson. And he also worked with the Lakers and introduced like MJ to meditation and mindfulness, breathing and stuff like that. So I read that book, and that book really changed my perspective and mind on mental health and mindfulness and the mental ways of just attacking your performance and how it could affect us, right? And once I saw that, I feel like that helped me put me in a different space, like my headspace of improving my performance and my just my mental approach to the game and to life.
Beautiful. Unlock Souls. I love that page.
Thank
And
you, brother.
I love that one of the favorite posts that you did, this the pregame preparation post.
Oh yeah.
I love that post because I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of kids, they don't know what preparation is. They just jump on the court and taking 3-pointers like they're
Yo.
Stephen Curry.
Yes.
There's steps, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Talk
man.
about that.
So the Unlock Souls originally started off as different name, Open Gym Mentality, which I got that speaks for itself. Basically, like I said, I was a big overthinker and anxious at times. So I feel like within my performance, I mean, it helped me because I was like before big games, I would think like, yo, man, I have to score 20, whatever. I have to score 20 this game. I have to play good because if I don't, then they're gonna say, I was so worried about like motherfuckers are gonna be like, yeah, you're not really that guy. You're supposed to be the leader on the team. You're not really. So that shit fueled me and drove me to want to do better. And there was just certain things and performances of like where in an open gym setting. So open gym basically is just like a run. Like when you go to the YMCA, just an open run. So
Yeah.
we would have open gyms like after like off season, preseason, like you know what I mean, with the guys on the team. And it's like I would play with a different confidence, shoot the ball with a different confidence than I would in a game setting, like within practice with coaches around, in an actual game. And I couldn't understand that shit. Why? Like what was the mental bear block is in with that? You know what I mean? I think I felt like it was a thing where I was afraid to fail in front of people. You know what I mean? I didn't want to miss 2, 3 shots in a row and then they talk about me. And then now I'm like, oh man, now I get into the mode of, I can't miss this instead of, man, I put this work in. I know I missed 4. I'm confident in this 5th one going in. Right. So it's like the mindset that I had. I feel like once I recognized it and I was like, yo, open gym mentality. Like, that was like a moniker. That was a thing for me of what I used, like a trigger for me. I used once I recognized it to help my performance and help me play better. Open gym mentality was like a thing I tell myself, like open gym mentality equates to playing freely, playing with no conscience, being confident, being your highest self, your true self, unapologetically, right? Like, and leaving it all out there, and everybody's gonna talk and have some shit to say. So it's not even worrying about nobody else. It's not about my thing now. What I go by is not about, yo, I'm not proving you guys wrong. I like this shit. When I accomplish what I want to accomplish, it's me proving myself right because I know I can do this shit. So once I do it, when you say, oh wow, you could do that, like damn, I was wrong. Like, bro, I don't care what you think. I was right. That's my mentality. So it started off from that, and then I changed it from open gym mentality because the Raptors have like a reality type of series where it's called Open Gym.
Oh, yeah,
And
I've seen this. Yeah.
right, so I think it's nothing to do with anything, but because my field has something to do with basketball, and that's the basketball and NBA. I envisioned my brand becoming big worldwide.
Of
So
course.
once I get to a certain level, I don't want anything where anybody's gonna be like, well, open gym and open gym mentality. Like, even though it's 2 different things, I don't
Yeah.
want that shit.
Of
I
course.
want you to be like unlock souls. Like that shit, it means something. Like that shit is like, you want to know unlock souls. Like, damn, what, like, I like that, but what the fuck is the meaning behind that? Like, so I had to go back in the lab, challenge myself to go back in the lab and find a name that best represents that and me. So I came up with like Unlock Souls because it's like I felt like realizing open gym mentality was me freeing myself from my mental constraints of having myself and like, my thoughts in a mental in my mind, just locking it up. Like now they're free. I unlocked that that my way of thinking and the perspective, I shifted that, and now I'm free to be able to follow these principles of playing free, being authentic, being true to myself, your highest form of yourself, right? And confidence and no conscience. Like I feel like it represents all of that, and Unlock Souls was it just speaks for itself in that aspect. And I realized it once I realized it myself. I applied it to other like teammates and friends that I've noticed things in. If I see something in them, and I'm like, bro, why I see you play in open gym. Why do you play like this in the game? And then I tell them about kind of my story, and they're like, oh shit, like that's how I feel. So once it was kind of like that, I was like, okay, I got something here, right?
I love
And part
it.
of my duty is I want to be able to share this shit with everybody, especially guys around our age that are are thinking it, but maybe are not really open to show that to everybody, to be vulnerable enough to be like, shit, like, yeah, I was like struggling with this, but now I'm recognizing it and I'm able to fix that.
That's beautiful. I was actually literally talking to my eldest about this that open gym, you see players like, whoa, this guy is like cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the lights is brighter, they vanish.
Yeah. Yes.
And I
Yeah.
love that idea, like you unlock that person's soul. That like,
Right.
you know, dude, don't worry about it. Just make shots. Don't like it's gonna
Yeah,
come.
man.
You know how to do this.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
that's what I like. I said when I try to coach kids or some people, I'm like, you know how to do this. Let's not fool
Mm-hmm.
around.
Mm-hmm.
Stop thinking about the result. Just
Mm-hmm.
take the jump shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's. And I love that you said that. Once I take this shot, it's going in. You don't know if it's going in or not,
Right.
but you gotta believe that it goes in.
You gotta believe, like, a lot of successful people have that big confidence in themselves where they think, whether they say it or not, they embody it. The confidence, like, yeah, I know I'm the shit. I know my shit is going to work. I know that, like, I'm the, whether you think so or not, but I know I'm really the best player on the court right now. You know what I mean? I know I'm really the best coach. Like, or this is in my field, what I'm doing. Like, no one's doing what I'm doing. Like, I feel like, and focusing on yourself rather than comparing yourself to other people, man. Like, I feel like it's about you. If you want to get, you want to achieve a certain level of greatness, you want to do this, like, obviously there's somebody you want to hold yourself to a standard to, that you can, which is perfectly fine, but don't get lost in that chasing somebody else that you lose yourself, right? So that's why it's like often it's like you gotta, it's fun, challenge yourself, man. Like, I often tell people, like, yo, challenge yourself. You don't stop saying, I hate when people say I can't. Like, yo, I can't do that. Like, that's like the thing that turns me off the most, because it's like, nah, man, like, bro, I can't do that. No, I just can't, like, do between the legs. Like, yes, you can. That shit takes practice. You think everybody jumped out here and just did between the legs, step back? Like, no, man. It took like many tries, many misses. You know what I'm saying? Like, start slow and build. So it's like it's cool. It's funny how life works, because I'm also like, I also train kids, and I'm a coach as well. So it's like learning in the space of like seeing kids, and I don't blame them, because I was once there as well, right? Like, you feel like you can't do something, or it's not happening right away, and you're like, man, fuck this shit, I can't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because you're looking at somebody who's doing it, but you're not understanding that, like, yeah, some people pick it up faster than others, but it's a process for people, right? Everything is a process. You don't just jump in to do something and then no, you got to make progressions. It's one between the legs. Now you just keep doing between the legs, maybe, boom. And then now, when you build up enough muscle memory, confidence, so now in you're exceeding what you're doing with the between the legs. Now you throw in that the other side. It's gonna be a little bit. You may lose the ball, but you're trying it. So with enough practice and the muscle memory, like, you'll figure it out just like you figured out to do the first between the legs type of thing. So I feel like it's just like having that a genuine belief in yourself and that confidence in yourself, man, and throwing away the word I can't and just like I will it may take me more time than this person or that person, but if you're like dedicated and you actually want to do this shit, then you will do it.
100%, my man. Listen, I think we're there, my man. I really, really appreciate it, and I enjoy this conversation with you, man. I hope you did too.
Of course, man. Like I said, thank you for just allowing me to come on this platform and to share this space and this energy with you, brother. Because, like I said, I went through your profile as well, and I've seen the content, and just seeing from when you did the podcast with Victor over there. Like, that's my guy. That's my brother.
My G.
You know what I mean? That's my brother right there, man. That's a guy right there. That's a big supporter as well. I've always been like big heart, great energy.
Amazing
always,
guy,
man. Like,
yeah.
Deserves everything that he has and he's gonna get, man. Like, that's like, those are the type of people, man. Genuine people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I seen him post that, and just from my conversations with him and seeing that interaction, man, I love that shit. So I was like, I gotta post this, man. Like, I was just supporting him and then also you as well. Just finding that out, I'm like, yo, I love this. You know what I mean? And so it means a lot for me, to be able to come onto this platform and to touch on certain things and give you background information on some things as well. Like, as far as like with the brand, and just like my mentality and upbringing and stuff like that. Cause those are things that are near to my heart, man. So
beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. For one thing, I just want to give a shout out to,
for sure,
Unlock Soulz, the brand, Mind Gym, where I'm a mental skills assistant at, and the team. Shout out to, Sam Tita. That's my boy. That's Black Men Style. He's doing his thing there. To Vel Canada. The SC Academy is where I coach with. You know what I mean? The Rich When I Want brand, that's my brother's brand. He has a clothing brand, and then also All About Racks. They both have their clothing brands. So I just want to, and all my everybody, I love you, that support. You know what I mean?
definitely.
Yeah, man. JBH Fresh, can't forget my boy too.
Oh, I don't think we did it. I'm sorry, but tell us if anyone wants to reach out to you, or if anyone.
They'll find that. But if you want to follow me, my page is you can find me at 91 Mully on Instagram. Also, I got the Unlock Soulz _ on there as well. It's connected. You'll see it in my profile. And also like the Mind Gym and Limitless Performance of where I work with the I work with 2 sports psychologists in our mental skills program that we have for the youth. So check that out. With the Mind Gym, and yeah, man, that's where you can find me. You can reach out to me, and yeah.
Awesome. Again, thank you, Daniel, for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it, my man.
Man, once again, thank you so much, man, and shout out to my daughter, man. Shout out to Zara. I love you, baby. You're the best. But thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
All right, you too.
Bye. Again, Mully, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, listeners, for listening. This is Aaron Del Yosa for An Immigrant's Life. I'll see you guys later.